The data about plant height for a science fair project. Then find the slope. Let's underline that. Let's mark the text here. Then find the slope of the line. Explain what the slope represents in the work zone. So let's go ahead and do step 1, which is graphing the data points. So week 1, this is your X value. And since this is a second number, this is the Y. So remember, we always start at the point of origin at 0. We're going to walk to the 1. Go to the 1, and then if you look at the second number, it says 1.5. So from 1, you go between 1 and 2. Then it's 2, 3. So 2 up to the 3. Then 3 to 4.5, right between this. And then 4 up to the 6. I've got the data points, and I want to make a line connecting them. I'm going to try making it straight, but you know how that goes sometimes. Okay, so kind of worked. Kind of. So now it says that it wants us to find the slope. So the slope is, if you recall, change in Y over, whoops, I forgot the E there, change in X. Oh my gosh, I cannot use this thing. It's so hard to use. Change in X. This is change in Y. Okay, so the first number represents what we said here, X's. So if you look here, from 1 to 2, you're going from 1 to 2, you can see it perfectly here. You know that from 1 to 2 is just one number, but we're going to go ahead and do the subtraction part of it. Always put the greatest number first, okay? And you can see here it's 2 minus 1. And then the change in Y. Now you're going up. So you're trying to see where one dot is compared to the other dot. And if you just look at these two dots, we had to go up 1, 2, right? So if you look at this, you can subtract these two. 3, take away 1.5. What does that equal? 3 minus 1.5 is 1.5. 2 minus 1 is just 1. Another way to look at this is to look at the one dot to the next dot. So everyone, eyes up here. If you go, rise over run. The run is your X, if you recall. Remember how the run was down here and the rise was the top number? So we're going to see how many units we rise. And if you see here, it's 1.5 up to the 3. So it's 1.5. You rose 1.5. If you look at the run, rise over run, the run goes horizontally. We go from this point to this point, took us 1, which is why you have 1 down here. So when you go to answer the question, the slope equals 1.5. The plant, what is it, plane? I don't know. The plant, whoops, we're going to put that, this is an E. The plant grows 1.5 centimeters per week. So to reiterate, all you're doing is subtracting the 2 points. We do the X's. You can subtract these two. 2 minus 1 equals 1. Then you subtract these two, put the greatest one in the front. 3 minus 1.5 is 1.5, and that would be your slope. The slope is 1.5. So the plant grows 1.5 centimeters per week.